Hi, you guys. This is Ronita Italia. I'm the editor-in-chief of Good Homes India magazine. And I'm really excited today because we have someone very, very special with us, with me, actually, chatting with me. She is the co-owner and the director of uh, one of the country's finest restaurants today. She's also somebody who we've known to move with the times and be very, very quick to adapt to the changes that are happening around, especially her kitchens. So I'm very, very proud to say that I'm chatting today with Aditi Dugar of Mask Restaurant, as well as Urban Gourmet. And thank you so much for taking the time out, Aditi, to talk to me today.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Ronita, for having me in here to chat with you.
Right. Okay. So, Aditi, this is the second edition of the Indulge Food Fest. It is also the summer special. So, I have to ask you summer related questions, at least to start you out. I'm dying to sort of pick your brains about a lot of other things. But to start off, something about summer that sort of excites you, that you look forward to.
I get into eating a lot of popsicles. It's hot, and I'm a huge ice cream fiend. So for me, it's like ice lollies and ice creams is my total indulgence in the summer months.
How cool! Also reminds you of childhood, no?
Yeah, my fridge is always stocked with ice lollies and ice cream.
Oh my God, how fun. Okay, so you speaking of childhood and connecting this with that, you've taken a lot of inspiration from your grandmother. There's a lot of stuff that you learned from there, right? I mean, that's where it all began for you in your head as well. Yeah.
Correct.
What is the one thing that she sort of cooked for you that you still cook for yourself even today?
I don't cook for myself, but growing up, it was always about eating very seasonally. And every time I'd go over to my grandmom's house over the weekends, it was always like, in winter time, we would have like typical Rajasthani food, which was like bajre ka roti and saag. And, we would have like makke ka roti in season or have like bajra dalia. Like, so I think like, for me, like eating like in the rainy season, we would have dal bati churma. So it was always like indulging in all this like ethnic cuisine, like and it was all eaten very seasonally in our houses. And that's something I still look forward to. Every time I go, she'll make me like jackfruit sabzi, or like she'll make like anjeer ka sabzi in season, or we'll have like mango curry. So it's like everything like seasonal is delicious.
Also good for our bodies.
Correct.
Okay, so how much time do you spend in the kitchen these days? Do you at all?
I do, but I'm right now, I've moved away from spending too much time in developing menus, etc., more to the brand and the business side of things, and how to sort of evolve in the changing market, and that's where I'm putting all my time and energy.
Wow, that takes it to a completely different level. Also, you guys have done some really fun stuff with Mark even during the lockdowns. It was something that we look forward to, the drive through. And where did that come from? So when you went into that zone?
So a lot of it is also like sort of we've given the team a lot of you know sort of, it's like we've really let the team also evolve with the brand. So there's been a lot of like working with like-minded people. I think you really sort of motivate them to bring enough value add to the table as well. So it was really one of the team members that suggested that the mill is empty on the weekends. Like, why don't we convert this into like a really fun drive-through that it happens all over the world in like California and stuff. And why don't we do that, since we're the only people in the mill? And literally that started as a weekend idea, became like a property that Mask sort of owned throughout lockdown. And we just did our final tailgate this Sunday. I mean, the response was overwhelming. At one point, even in lockdown, we were doing nearly 180 to 200 people on Sunday. It was, yeah, because I mean, people just felt so safe. Like, you know, having brand credibility, and people were very, you know, felt very secure coming to Mask and sort of even eating out of our kitchens. So we had that advantage going for ourselves, but also like the way we made that into a really fun property, how we socially distance the cars, or, you know, just the ease of which they could order and eat in the booth. And it just became like a place to be seen on Sunday.
Listen, tell me about it. We used to plan. Like, we would look forward for 2 weeks. We would plan it. Okay, we're doing this 2 weeks later, and it gave us all something to look forward to. It was a ray of hope, and
yeah,
it was brilliant. It was brilliant. Okay, so now I know that Urban Gourmet you've done with Mom, right? That's something.
Yes.
that
So Urban Gourmet is actually the parent company, has two divisions. One is Mask and the other is Sage and Saffron. And
Okay.
Sage and Saffron is my catering arm that I started with my mom out of a home kitchen. And it's actually our 10th year anniversary soon. And it's amazing how from my mom's kitchen, I moved to my own house kitchen, you know, moved into the back kitchen at Mask, and now Sage and Saffron has its own industrial kitchen. You know, I'm growing the structure also within the company. You know, we've evolved so much even through lockdown, where, you know, we were able to take a whole dining experience even to people's homes, whether it was like doing socially distanced sit down dinners, or moving into gift hampers, moving into corporate packaging, you know, doing creative mithais, doing like literally anything and everything in the food space. Sage and Saffron was doing, whether it was the first, you know, we were one of the first brands to launch DIY kits, to go online, started packaging sauces. So I think we innovated very, very quickly throughout lockdown.
You did. And it's something that sort of kept us all going. I have to say this, whether it was those,
I
you know,
became
the
a
kids.
sourdough baker during lockdown. And, you know,
Are you
that became a
serious?
thing at Sage and Saffron as well, where I was doing all these different flavored sourdoughs throughout lockdown, like right from a truffle sourdough or a beetroot sourdough. And it became like a huge rage.
Superb. Okay, but that's also something that you sort of work very closely with people to do, right? I mean, it also brings to the forefront how, and tell me if I'm wrong, okay? Because it is your sort of place that your playground, the kitchen. You know, how important is teamwork in the kitchen?
I mean, teamwork is everything. I mean, it's very difficult to run brands with so much heart without having the correct team, because you can have a lot of intuition about, you know, what the market wants or what the market demands, but if you don't have like-minded people working with you to sort of relay that dream, it's very, very difficult. You know, you need people who understand customer sensitivity. You need people who understand, you know, finesse. You need people who understand perfection. So it could all be, you know, sort of my characteristics and in my head, but if I don't have a team who's crazy about that sort of execution, is very difficult to sort of see that through.
Put things together. Completely agree. Okay, I'm going to bring you out of the kitchen now and into the dining space. Okay.
That's my favorite, because even the dining space at Mask, I think when we began setting up, I know I'm skipping to the answer straight away, because I know what your question is.
Yeah.
So it was I'm crazy about the aesthetics and the details, and for me it was, you know, the madness of creating Mask, of course, Pratik on the food side and his whole vision on the food, but for me it was really the final details of, you know, what cutlery we should choose, or the perfect crockery, or our napkins, to the glassware, to the overall aesthetic of the place. Or, you know, it took us 18 months to even build the restaurant, because even the architect that I chose was so crazy about the details. So everybody, I think that is, yeah, Ashish, I didn't want to raise a red flag there, but I mean, of course, he's the dearest friend, but he's obsessed. He's obsessed about every millimeter that of the straight line and the curves in the restaurant. So it was almost as if we were building Taj Mahal. So it was a tough journey together. But I mean, the result was, I think, beyond amazing. And I mean, even till date, I think Ashish would proudly say that Mask is one of his,
finest, completely.
Yeah.
Listen, I remember going into the washroom and taking forever. The first time we visited Mask, and then we went in like 2 and 3 of us together just to spend time in the loo and take pictures. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
It
was really done with a great eye of detail. And I think also the first time I called Ashish and I explained the concept to him and my thought process, and literally over the next meeting, he was already on board, and we were already planning what this restaurant should be like and what the bill should be. And it was he knew all the correct keywords. But that's Ashish Shah for you.
Yeah, that is Ashish. Okay.
But and a lot of that also came from my obsession with table settings at Sage and Saffron. So even when I was a homegrown business, and even then, back then in the day when I would go for setups and to go to people's homes, I was obsessed even without really, I don't even know if they wanted the advice or not, but I would go adjusting things on their tables or pull out mats from their drawers or adjust the flowers, because I was just so obsessed about the whole 360-degree of the business. And that became a thing with Sage, where we are a 360-degree catering company, and we really go into the detailing of table styling, the correct napkin or the cutlery to use, or the correct plates for every course, whether it's a themed dinner. So recently we did a themed dinner, which was the birthday boy was obsessed about books, and every course was revolved around the book. So something coming out of a book of Harry Potter with with all the smokes and drama. So we really get into
the details,
deep down into the themes and yeah, of every course as well.
So listen, what's the most fun part about this right now? And just by looking at you, I can tell that you've enjoyed the process. I mean, that you are enjoying every bit of the process. What's your most favorite part of it all?
I think to seeing it all come together, of course, first planning it, so obviously on the catering side, it's really, when you start imagining the setting and how things will happen, how the service will flow, that sort of curation is very exciting. And then we really get down to really personalizing everything, right from, from the popcorn, I'm just saying, even from the tubs to, at one wedding, we actually even printed plates. So we really go into, I mean, when we're allowed to run wild, and when, of course, there have to be no budgets, then it's like you're in a candy shop, you go crazy. And so we've done crazy setups at Sage, and a lot of that madness also extends at Mask. And it from the very beginning, Mask has been this sort of playground. Of course, we've been limited to in terms of the cuisine, and we've almost are we're confined by sourcing locally. We wanted to have a voice which is global, but it is local at the same time. So in that sense, there was confinement, but there was no confinement in terms of creativity and what Pratik could do with ingredients and flavor and the magic he could create in the kitchen. So,
wow, I can completely imagine. So, how different is it working with mom? Is it stressful?
It is, but now mom is more like a support system, and of course she still helps us with when we need to put a huge Indian meal together, or we need some of the real Sage and Saffron favorites, one of our dishes is called Thai bhel, which it's what my mom and me developed together, and that's sort of one of our best sellers, whether we are serving at somebody's home or it's a kitty party or it's at an exhibition. And everybody will flock to Sage and Saffron because they have Thai bhel. So
Yeah.
that's like, she holds on to some of those secret ingredient recipes of hers. But of course, she's a huge backbone and support system. I have 3 kids, so she's juggling between babysitting them, being part of, helping me in the business with whatever I need, and always being there for me.
Superb. Okay. I can't help but ask you this question. I'm sure you've got it like 1,000 times, but finance or fine dining?
I mean, I have to say that I was obsessed with finance at that time, that I was in finance. But right now, I think fine dining. But I mean, it's funny because now I've been pushed back into the finance side of things.
Yeah,
As I
exactly.
need to grow the business, I'm stepping away, giving more responsibility to the team, and figuring out how to create more value and grow.
Nice. It helps, no? I mean, one helped you develop and build with the other, no?
Yeah, but now I need to go back keep going back on the drawing board, because like the industry is changing so fast that if you don't keep evolving and you're not ahead of your game, it gets quite tough.
And you do realize that we all have really high expectations of everything that you're doing. So yeah, keep going, more pressure.
Yeah, that adds a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Okay. So out of all the things that when we started talking, out of all the things that you said that your grandmother makes for you guys in terms of the seasonal ingredients and everything, what's your favorite? What's that one thing that you want to keep going back to?
For me, my most favorite meal is to have bajre ka roti, which my grandmother will like churro with her hands, and then we'll have it with the panchmela dal, and literally like go all out licking your fingers with the garlic chutney.
Yum. Okay. Yes. So we spoke a little bit about, the details, the finer details of the table settings and all of that. Now, what you've also always been known for is to create an experience. In any kind of sort of, whether it has been stage in the early, and then with mask, and then also with the whole absolutely exciting innovation that you guys did during the pandemic. That whole thing of having people outside serving you, eating in your car, all of that. What are we looking forward to? Are there any future plans that you're going to tell us about right now in terms of an experience?
But I have 2 things up my sleeves. One I can't really talk about right now, but I'm just launching Araku Coffee's retail first flagship cafe in Bangalore at Indranagar.
Nice.
And I've been very much part of really putting that whole ecosystem of the cafe together, the food and the culture, along with the core team at Araku. And I mean, I think it's going to shake things up, not only in Bangalore, but also in the country, in the cafe space.
Yes,
I'm very excited about that.
It will. Okay. 3 children.
It's going to be something India hasn't seen in the cafe space.
Listen, why am I not surprised? Well, now that you've said it, we're all looking forward to it. Okay, so 3 children, you said. Yeah. What has been your experience with children and food? Do you even get into that?
Yeah, my kids have either been, even when when the kids were really little and I was literally even nursing them, they were always in the kitchen. They've always been on a kitchen top. Half my life, if I've spent even at home, even when I used to be a full-time mom and I was cooking and stuff, they'd be sitting on the kitchen counter. So even at a very, very young age, they knew that, what's hot and, what's dangerous in the kitchen. They knew how to start the induction. They know how to do everything. 4-year-old is a full-time cook. Like, he can make everything from ice creams to jams to,
Are you serious already?
Made at home, and it wasn't flavorful enough for him. So went back into the kitchen and did his own concoction and came back on the table to devour it.
How cool is that? So they're all foodies, all three of them?
All. My middle one, he doesn't really care about the process. He loves eating. But the older one is really obsessed about everything, everything to do with food. It's science. I think he's going to be a chef.
Nice. Okay. Okay. So I've got a quick rapid fire for you. Like very quick, a little bit more about getting to know Aditi Dugar. So tea or coffee?
Tea. But now since I'm working with Araku coffee, I must say coffee. Though I'm not a coffee drinker, I taste coffee.
So are you like a big time, like a lot of tea?
No. Masala chai, maybe.
Oh yeah, yum. Okay, cutting. Okay. So cheesecake or tea cake then?
Tea cake.
Okay. When you're not thinking food and the business of food, what are you doing?
Looking at where I need to travel next.
Oh my God. Okay. Other than food, if it wasn't food, still finance?
I mean, I thought about being a florist at one point.
Really?
Something in the creative side for sure.
Okay, nice. Would you prefer a table for two or a large gathering of friends?
I'm a large gathering. I'm a real people's person.
Okay. Mountain or the seashore?
Mountains.
Nice.
No, because I mean, like I told you, I'm crazy about travel. So for me, it is. I mean, I'm into everything like trekking and skiing, and as well as like diving. So I mean,
oh my God, a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Okay, so hot soups or cold soups?
Hot.
Grills or salads?
Salads.
Okay. Some sort of turning point experience in the kitchen that you've had that sort of made you what you are today?
I mean, I get asked this question a lot. I think there's been no turning point as such, but I think it's just, for me, I think appreciating people for who they are and realizing talent and, giving that due credit where it's needed has really helped me as an individual, and also to grow along with the individuals that have grown along with my business.
With you guys, yes, I think that comes through very, very beautifully. I mean, it's you're radiating it. Wow. Okay. Last question in the well, rapid fire. Have you ever been on a blind date?
No, I mean, I've been married for like 15 years, and I dated my husband before that for 5. So we've known each other for more than 20 years. So no, there've been no blind dates.
Of that. Okay,
no
nice.
chance of that.
Nice. Okay, so before I let you go, please finish this line for me. The future is
exciting.
Nice. I have to say thank you very, very much, Aditi, for all the yummy, yummy food that you guys have sort of fed us. The clean, good, incredibly experimental and absolutely delicious food.
Yeah, delicious is really something we stand by.
It has been amazing talking to you. Thank you very, very,
Thanks
very
so much, Ronita. This was really fun.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I'll keep you posted with the link and everything.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. See you.
See you.